Hello guys, and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring the 4-armed monster Shokan Warrior Kintaro. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let's put Shokan Warrior Kintaro to the test. Shokan Warrior Kintaro guys was released on the 28th of February 2018 and his original price in the old store was 473 souls. So let's check whether he's worth this price. His attack is 52,164, the 22nd highest overall and the 5th highest in the Gold League. The hit points, they are 100,685, the 26th highest overall and the 8th among the gold characters. The toughness is 41,202, the 22nd highest overall again and the 5th highest among the gold characters again, and the recovery is 41,580, again the 22nd highest in MK Mobile and the 5th among the gold characters. The power generation is 105%. So for his stats, Shokan Warrior Kintaro gets 18.7 out of 28 possible points. Special 1 of Kintaro guys is called Shokan Fury, and quite honestly you should almost never use it at all, not because it is terrible but because his special 2 is much better. The ability can be blocked by the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff, it can be cast from distance, however if you are casting it from long range the first 2 mini hits will miss, but this is not a big deal because at mid range everything connects. The special attack is lethal, it consists of 3 mini attacks and it has the single tap rectangle as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 17,214, the 27th highest overall and the 9th highest in the Gold League, and the maximum damage is 34,428, the 29th highest in MK Mobile and the 17th among the gold characters. Once again, the ability is completely blockable, it doesn't have any buff or debuff unfortunately, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini attacks and it has the single tap rectangle as minigame. So for his special 1, Kintaro gets only 6.5 out of 13 possible points. Special 2 of Kintaro guys is called Groundbreaker, and quite honestly this is the best thing about this character. This special attack is really awesome. First of all, it cannot be blocked by the opponent because it's a grapple, however you have to be very careful when you are casting it from distance because it will always fail unless you are right next to the enemy. So please be very careful guys. The special attack has fire as debuff, it consists of 3 mini attacks and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 43,035, the 27th highest overall and the 9th highest among the gold characters, and the maximum damage is 86,070, the 26th highest in MK Mobile and the 7th in the Gold League. Once again, let's read the properties of the special attack. It is completely unblockable, it has fire as debuff, it cannot be cast from distance, be very careful there, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special 2, Kintaro gets 13.8 out of 19 possible points. You know guys, when it comes to Kintaro's X-Ray there is one big question mark for me, and it is whether this special attack can be cast from distance. Currently you're seeing me casting it at short, mid-range and the ability connects. Now I'm casting it from mid-range and ability connects, which is all we need. However, now I'm also casting it from kind of mid-range, probably this is something between mid and long range and the ability will fail. Why I'm showing this to you? Because I really want to let you know that even though the special attack will connect at mid-range, which is all we need, you have to be careful because one step away and the entire X-Ray will fail. And this is something to consider guys. Also, the X-Ray has power generation as buff, which is kind of useful. When it comes to damage, The damage of the X-Ray is 103,284, the 35th highest in the game and the 12th highest among the gold characters. Once again, the special attack has power generation as buff and it can be cast from distance, however, at mid-long range it will fail, so keep that in mind. So for his X-Ray, Kintaro gets 3.5 out of 4 possible points, and in total for his special attacks he gets 23.8 out of 36. Let's face it guys, Shokan Warrior Kintaro has very bad basic attacks, he is very slow, and on top of that his basic attacks chaining is pretty terrible as well. He doesn't push opponents back and he can get easily countered. Probably the only thing which I like about his basic attacks, and it is probably me, because I don't know whether you have noticed it guys, but even if the opponent is blocking during one of his basic attacks combos, at some point he's going to kick the opponent and the animation looks as if he's breaking the block, which actually results in him pushing back the enemy. It's really strange, but this is the only thing which I like about Kintaro's basic attacks. Apart from that, what you need to do is keep blocking and wait for the moment to come so that you can counterattack. Otherwise, you will get always outperformed by the enemy's basic attacks. So I'll be giving Kintaro 2 points for speed and 2.5 for chaining, for a total of 4.5 out of 10 for his basic attacks. The passive of Kintaro guys is called Art of the Shokan. It is divided basically in two parts. The first part is that if Kintaro successfully blocks a special attack, he has a chance to retaliate with a jump stomp on the opponent, which applies fire damage over time effect. And the second part of his passive is that Kintaro and his teammates have increased resistance to fire damage over time effects. Now, I really don't like this passive guys. The first part of it is plainly useless. The damage is really low. And the fire lasts for like 3 seconds. And what amazes me is that he only has chance to do it. I mean, why? Seriously, I take Bujitsu Kunjin's passive when it comes to blocking compared to Kintaro, and Kintaro is actually a top tier gold character. So why, if he's doing something so underwhelming, he only has a chance to do it? He should be doing it on every special attack which is blocked, and even then it wouldn't be that good. But of course it will be better than the current situation. So the first part of his passive is close to useless. I wouldn't say that it's totally useless. For example, it can be good versus Jade. It will give you some damage for free, I guess, but still the damage is very low. However, the second part of his passive is kind of good. It is really good, for example, versus heavy fire teams such as Tribrook teams with Sector, MK11 teams with MK11 Scorpion, and so on and so on. However, another drawback here, this is very situational. I mean, what happens if you don't meet any character on the opposing team who has fire? Then it seems that Kintaro doesn't have any passive, of course, when it comes to the second part of it. So again, second part of his passive is good, but situational. So I'm sorry guys, I'll be giving him just 13 out of 20 points for his passive. I do admit that the second part of it is useful, but only in specific cases. Kintaro is just an outward character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, Shokan Warrior Kintaro, what is the final verdict? Let's take a look at the bigger picture. He has pretty good stats for a gold character. His special 1 sucks, however his special 2 is pretty good as long as you remember that you have to cast it when you are next to the opponent. His passive is really nothing special and his basic attacks are horrible. Now, when it comes to my subjective feelings, I hate Kintaro. I don't just hate the MK mobile version of Kintaro, I hate the concept of this character in general. You know, I'm pretty sure that when they decided to create Kintaro, they were thinking, oh my god, Goro is dead in MK1 and we cannot really bring him back, we cannot think a way to do it, so what we have to do is just bring him back. However, we have to change his name and make him look like a cat, for example, because people love cats. Thus, we'll have him in the game, and at the same time, it won't be him. There you go, we have Kintaro. I'm sorry, I really don't like this character. Quite frankly, I like Motaro better. Unfortunately, Motaro hasn't made it to MK Mobile yet, probably because of the well-known issues with his torso and the difficulty the developers face when they have to animate it. So Kintaro, I'm sorry, but you're getting 0 out of my 3 subjective points. So with my 0 points, he actually manages to score 61.1 out of 102. So we can label him as a good character. While it is true he is borderline good, he can still be viable card as long as you keep spamming his special 2 and as long as you don't miss it. Final verdict, good character. So we got to the gameplay, guys. Now, first thing first, Kintaro is a terrible starter. Please never use him as a starter. He doesn't have any synergy with the Devastator. His special 1 is not good, and you need to spam his special 2 as many times as possible. And if he is a starter, this is not very likely to happen. When it comes to the characters that he counters, I would say that those should be the cards who rely mainly on fire damage, such as, for example, MK11 Scorpion or Classic Lucane or Sector Triborg. However, there are certain characters in the game who counter Kintaro, and I would say those should be the characters who make him slow and frostbite him, for example, MK11 Sub-Zero, Triborg Sub-Zero, Pankasi, and so on and so on. When it comes to the items, guys, I really don't like equipping Kintaro with his own item. I prefer giving him Rat Hammer so that his special 2 can be as deadly as possible. As equipment, I usually give him Shao Kahn's helmet, and in the accessory slot I choose Soul Medallion because once again his special 2 is awesome and I want to cast it as many times as possible during the battle. Alright guys, we got to the teams. Now, there are many teams where you can use Kintaro, however, most of the cases the best teams should be the teams that rely on fire damage. That is why Kintaro is very nice teamed up with Tiger Fury Goro and any other outward character. For example, that should be Monfu Kitana because both Goro and Kintaro will start with special 2. And of course, instead of Kitana, you can use another outward character who has fire. For example, that should be Classic Kano or any other character. Actually, it doesn't matter. Or it's not necessary. It's not actually compulsory to be an outward character. It can be, for example, a martial artist such as Sector. And of course, you can build a very nice throw team using Kintaro. I call it the Backbreakers team, and that consists of Classic Jax, Revenant Jax and Kintaro, and this team is actually good. Remember, you have to cast all those special 2s when you are next to the enemy. Okay guys, Shokan Warrior Kintaro, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. He scored 61.1 on our scale and we labeled him as a good character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen, and if you want to know which is the next on-demand review coming up, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you in the next one guys. Take care.
Perfect.